كبور حزبي تجراي سلام نابلخو خميخم مجمرة نجار مسانا خمزة لخم بصلوتنا بلبنا بكلاليثنا وني سلسخم نحسب نسألي خزارب دليئة of this Tigray genocide. Where is the world? Where is your promise to never again? How many more people have to die? How many more people do we have to show you? تخيل خوا حزيا لخونا نتشاشا الخوية بأربعة عامة يوز كاب إثيوبيا مالتي بدرجة جزء مس عدي إن مس حفتي TDF, which is basically the people of Tigray picking up arms and saying no more. We're not going to wait for the world to say no more. We are going to ensure no more for Tigray. And they are on the front lines of the battlefields on the ground. Helina malet kab Tigray tina kab Tigray zimazat sabiya.
Where is the world as the people of Tigray are perishing? And again, an estimated half of an entire civilization said to have perished if something immediate does not happen. If the world does not stand up and say, never again. Remember that? Remember? Remember you promised never again?
بأجرنا إنا وزئنا خم بزحساب بسودان نسالست عامت زجينا إن نزسم عنا سب مزارب يوصل ناي سبنا تشجر عسرت شعات عمت ميديا إن برودكشن خمزي مستوى أن موفيز الناس راح خونيرة ناي عدي نجر في السابز موت أنا عيرسعون خمي لو بقى لو ودي السبت رأيه إنه خمو عينة نجر ريخا خمي تقاومه خمي جرخا خمي بيبي مبلع يبلون يبل سب إلنا زي سنبد نجريو بتعمي خبدخا انت هيخبلك I mean زي حسب دقاقي منا عبيل العالم نبل جن دمو pragmatically خريقو خلخو قاس إلى جن عالم النامز أتيا إن خوبا له مجمرة خوبنا ببعلنا سب to ناي عالم سب أبيلو to action أبيلو
سلام تعني هبلنا زخبركم تملكتنا مدلاو زعبا لومي حيزة قريبا لخو كبروم أبراهام سومي استديو زعلت حبيركم كتصنحي مسانا صنحهم اللوات نوات كاتولي بخبر زعدم نلومي كم تلمود كابوشتن كاب دقن دق تقراي أب حالوا من تقراي زقوري وزلو قاس مسرت غيرنا نقروم قاشو اللونا نلومي ناب دق خبابي كوس دوكو ينا هاجر أمريكا أتلانتا جورجيا قاشا زعبا لومي نتوم دمسي قفعن مكران جنوسايدن تقراي كوينوم زرخبو عدل بمولو ليتن كأثرن نمحاور سبع عالم عندبتن دمسن حزب تقراي كوينوم زقارس زلو دياسبورا تقراي كباتهم حنتيات ديجيتالن دبلوماسياون قالسي خاوز غور زلو وعروتات تقراي هلينا تادسه كاب امريكا اتلانتا جورجيا لصبط عنيت كلوكم تسفا يقبر.
Where is the world as the people of Tigray are perishing? And again, an estimated half of an entire civilization said to have perished if something immediate does not happen. If the world does not stand up and say, never again. Remember that? Remember? Remember you promised never again?
لينا فلماسكي أو بتلفزيوننا باستفعال من قد نريكمو أو دياسبورا تقراي قال سخابز جورو حانتي وعرويخمو فلماسكن اللالة لينا من كنمل
بدنبي بتعمي كبرها باللي كبروم زحوي بتعمي مسجنية نحان تقراي تلفزيون حزبي تግራይ كبور حزبي تግራይ سلامنا بلخو خميخم مجمرا نجر مسانا خمزلخم بصلوتنا بلبنا بكلاليتنا وني سلسخم نحسب نصلي خزارب دليه كاب مجمرخو خمز تريو تجرنا تخيل خوا حزيا لخونا ان تشاشال خويه باربعه عامته يوزئ كاب إثيوبيا مالتي بدرج جزء مس عدي إن مس حفتي هلينا مالت كاب تجراويتنا كاب تجراوي زمزات سبية هلينا مالت حجي تمحارته تجراويتي خمس خونات دسلوائية مجمرة إثيوبيانية رأيي زفلت زنبرخو especially كاب حاجر دقة سب خوات أخرلو نزيوم أمريكاويت يوم ويم زيوم إنجليزي يومنا أنا إثيوبياويت إلنا إنا نفلت نرنا جن because of زي حجز happens خون زلو بتي شعبيانا بتي إثيوبيان government زجبرو زلو حجي فلت إيه تجراويتي خمس خونكو إن إجزابر anyway دس يبلني مفلات أي حجي أب أمريكا أب إنجليز أجرية تماهرة أب أمريكا مزينا خمس بالقوة بدرجة جزء بإجرنا عنا وزينا بزح حساب أب سودان ثلاثة عامات زجينا إن بفيزانا وين بجرين كارد قال ريدي خون خلو ناب أمريكا مزينا عصرت شعات عامات ميديا إن برودكشن خمزي مستواك أن موفيز الناس رح خونيرة دمو مجمرة إنسبايرز قبلني نبزي عينة سرح مقتاو because أبزي حد أجر خمت أخلخو إثيوبيا خبال خلو هذه هزبي زفلتو زنبي ويم زرحابة ساب منعمل خموخ سلازو نابرة أزيعة بعمر أم خير دلية إلى إيانا بميديا ماس ميديا أعتخو دمو عدي برهان تدلا أب تفلت journalist نيرا أب إثيوبيانا inspire تقبرني خمي تزارب خمي بعلان تحز تقراويتي إياه إن دمو أبوي دمون أب education نيرو نرجم جزء سلزي كنت جنا أبزي أجر مسئة تماهرة أب إنجليز أجر تملسة high school أم هيرا نيرن توسنا ساعات دحراي ناب ماس ميديا ناب مستواقع موفيز أتي مالتيو الجين الرخب زلنا نعدنا تجراي إن تقلسكم مس حزبي مالتي
كاف هسألنت كجميل كنوح عمتات أبدق مسناح تجرنيا ياو دحاني وصبون غير كتخيلي خمالي كالي وجن كورات تملكتنا مستي بهسألنتا كابزي كاب تجراي بسودان بلا موصعة أفتي قفع المكارن بزنور الجزيت ناي تجرنيا بدم بناي زي مخالص أجمعت كل سلا زخلا ما أخل بتزعويه له قام نبلنا توسنا خعب تجرنيا بتولد زمروا ناوخاتكم نبلنا هنصنحنا اسكي أو خلقي بتي تخليو بتزلمركي قام قاون من نتكتلايلنا صبوي.
My name is Helena Tadesse. I was born in Ethiopia, and up until 500 plus days, 546 days, all I knew was that I was an Ethiopian living in America, an Ethiopian studying in the United Kingdom. But apparently, I was to find out differently. And I am proud to say Helena is a Tigrawaiti. I left Ethiopia during Derg times with my mother and my little sister, and my father had gone ahead of us. We connected with him in Sudan, and we waited until we received our green card, and we came to America. I went abroad to England to study, and I came back, and I taught high school for a little bit, but I found my passion in mass media and making movies, so movie production and commercial production. I wanted to enter the role of movie making and commercial making, because when I first came to America, what I understood was when people thought about Ethiopia, what they had in their mind was the starving baby from the 80s, a picture of starving people, malnutritioned children. And so I wanted to enter the entertainment business to change that mindset. But as we've found after 17 years in that profession, here you and I are, Kubram, meeting in this digital battlefield fighting for our عدنا.
صبوق لنا ندق أكايداخي معازن كميني نيرو مالت قعزاخي ولد خزازن تولكي تاريخي الوكي خونمو كم يوم كيركم بابي
يوم استوسو نجر بزح جزي عدي يفرحيو تبلني إياه خم عينت نجر تستوسي تبلني خلو جزي حد نجر تعتلو بتعمي زستوسو مالت كاب بزح جزي زبلع عين برن of course جن زستي وني صروي ماي عين برن إنه أب أمروي تقارس أتنجر انتلا زرخبنا يوم ماي بإسات تفلحو شكر يقبرمو تي إنرجي خبنا خنرامد واك خنقبرنا 4-5 عمت نيرة جن إذا استوسوا نجر كائل خوا بإجري الرامد نيرة دحري سبي العلن نمو عبترشاوي قبرني خمو عينت نجرية إذا استوس ناب ميدا نجر خستوس خلخو خم حدا فاميلي حدا دمنا حدا انت خوينو ز نغلاسو ز نريو نجر the same حدا سلزخونه ناتي قلعيا ناتي قلعي خونتن عيب لك كان سبب ناي عدي نجر حساب زموت أنا عيرسعون خمي حفتي بأسعات حدا عمت نيرمو عب جربة حزلة واك تقبر نيرا أنا وني مس بإيدي حيزاتني نا حجي وني خستاوسو خلخو خزارب خلخو سلسو نجر حجي وني قبل بي زنخ أني نجر انتلو ناي تجراي حزبي وني أنستنا خمونا قبرو الزنبرة نات بيت نحفتي للي تخفي لا حفتي خالي سبخ حزا سلازة خالت تبكي نيرا بزحمو كساب حفتي كساب تدقس كساب تحرس عداي تحرس النيراس لازم بزح جزي استوسا باي مروي تنبارخي خمسين قبرتها كتهرس بجربعة هم عينة نجر especially بزي ساعات تولو إلونا أي مروي يمزعيونا خمي thank you خمي تبل عدخان هيوت كاز سيف زقبرو بزح حساب عدي يا خم أم كبار اللواي بلي خليجن بزح حساب أي خلون سلزي ناي بعلي ناي جقنا عديخ الناس تاوسكو ناي جقانو حتنا وني نحسب خو حجي
بإنجليزيا أخذنا هلا خي ناقل سكخت كدي خبدا بي بتقولنا وننت يسق ملك سازلو. Could you please say it again in English? How was your journey to Sudan at the Derg regime?
Of course, our journey to Sudan is something that you wouldn't, anyone who has gone through this would never ever forget. Of course, what comes to mind are all the hardships, but immediately and first and foremost, what comes to mind is how the people, even though you're not their child, how people just band together. That instantly you are their daughter, you are their sister, you are, the mother, father. I remember even as a 4-year-old walking on foot as much as I could, but then someone next to me would just hoist me up on their backs and would carry me the rest of the way. Especially I think about Takaza River, how this man would just hoist me up, and I later found out it was a member of the community now here, goes to our church, but he just put me on his shoulders, and I just remember my feet touching the water, and he was completely, submerged in the water. So I also remember things like we didn't have much to eat, of course. A lot of times clean water to drink was also not available, but heating up on a stove, on a fire, water just to get it purified. And then they would put sugar so we can drink it to get that energy to walk an extra mile, to go to save our lives, and that extra mile. And then, of course, you would just crash, because when there's no food in your system and there's just that sugar adrenaline, then there's nothing to do but sort of crash at the end. But besides that, I remember my mother, who is truly my hero, having on her shoulders my 1-year-old sister and walking as much as she could. And at night, because my sister would cry so much, and we needed to be very quiet so that the Derg soldiers would not catch us, my mother would stay up late just rocking my sister to sleep, because no one else could really help her in that, because my sister, again, was so young, she would cry. So as I think about our journey, as I think about the journey that my mother made, now myself a new mother, and understanding how hard it is to keep a baby quiet, the pressures of needing to keep your children safe, to keep yourself safe, not knowing what bush, what corner a soldier trying to, whatever it is, the dangers. I think about my mother's heroism, as well as I think about our Hatna, our Tigrayan mothers and sisters and daughters, and their heroism and their bravery, their challenges.
قرم لنا أزي عواخن بصدراخن زقات أما قفعن مكران أفتي سألمات جزي سرعات درجي حزقة بعوي وبزجاجة ملكو عبد حزب تجراي أجاتي مولمو أتي بفاشتوان ورد تزوج حزول مكران قفعنا بالعلي حزب تجراي كم يختكاتوا يلا خي تكون هات كم يتعزوا يلا خي.
Well, خلونا أب حزب تجراي خون زلوا حجي كان دجنا مرسعين خلنا of course حزب تجراي زارب زلوا خص لذي خالي سب سمع انت لو كاب عدنا دقاقم إلو إيه مالت زي ناي إثيوبيا ناي أبي أحمد زفت أرونا قريو ناي شعبي زفت أرونا قريو خمو إلى زريئيو بتعمي زسنبد نقريو بتعمي خبدخا انتهي خبلك I mean زي حسب نقريو كاب حقر وني I mean بزح كاب ناتناسب دقزلو حجي ناب United Nations ناب CNN زخوينوم ناي علم خلو سب ززارب سلازيز أقام زلو سب انتايبل خمزي نقر تريقو خمسين نقر تريقو يلن كساب حجي بعالم وشت يبلو إيوم سلازي يعني إحنا نتقالسنا خنريقو خلنا نمنتا إيوم United Nations كساب حجي حدا نقر زي قبرو نمنتا إيو عالم بمولو كساب حجي قويو ناب تجراي ناب زيوم سبات زقبرو زلو نقر مقباري بلكم إلهم أمين أنت خمي خجلس أخليه أبيلو تعلم دقاق ما يبلي أنا عالم أبيلو سلازي خلو سب انت فليتو خمزي عنت نقر تريقو أي فلتن كساب حجي مقبار زلوهم نقر أي قبروننا كساب زقبرو ودمو أن إحنا ابتداء أسبرز لنا تجارو إننا بزح دمو حجي لو تجارو زي خونوجن allies نبلهم مثلا الناس يروحوا زلو سعادة يخونوا African American يخونوا إنجليز يخونوا German قالوا allies نبلهم بقى خمس أمين انتخب لك ناجحنا لنا حزنا يولنا نسرحنا لنا أننا لليت because خمنا تجراي حزب أن إحنا وني understand أجبرنا to ناي علم سب أبيلو to action أبيلو سلزي خم سرحنا because سرحنا أيو حجي خم سرحنا قرنا إينا حزنا أيو سلنا.
Before years, never again. The slogan was never to be repeated the genocide in the world, wherever in the world. But now it's vice versa. The genocide is already repeated in Tigray. Your slogan tells us that the reality of Tigray.
Having been in school in America where they teach you about the milestones of the world history, having come to understand the different genocides that have occurred thus far, be it the Rwanda genocide that we all know about, what's happened in Yemen and Yugoslavia and so on. What I don't understand is where is the world with the, with the never again. The world at large understands what happened to the people of Israel and the Jewish people, where the world really took the time to say, we will ensure that this never happens again. And so what the advocacy groups, Tagaru as well as allies, which are basically non-Tagaru people who are working alongside of us to ask the world, where are you? Why is this happening again? When it's happening to Tigray now, we are on day 546 of this Tigray genocide. Where is the world? Where is your promise to never again? How many more people have to die? How many more people do we have to show you? When we say atrocities, I don't have to tell you all the things that are happening to Tigrayans, and with everything. And every time there's something, whether it's video of burned bodies, whether it's testimonies of our sisters, we ensure that the media is notified. We ensure that states, country legislative bodies are notified. And so we continue to ask, where is the world? And to let them know that what you are doing is not good enough. It's not good enough because our people are still under huge duress and are losing their lives and are being profiled, cannot speak their own language, even in the so-called civilized capital city of Addis Ababa, where so many people are incarcerated in a 21st century concentration camp that we haven't heard about since the Holocaust, since Rwanda and alike. So how do I see the Tigray genocide? I see it as the world being extremely late and overdue for action, and extremely sad and stomach turning for our people.
أبطال جورجيا أتلانتا مدرك ترغيبكي محاورة عالم من قصة عالم زحلف كيوم الأختي بوانا نترجم من تاينيرو عالم أبيل لازم الكاس نمن تايو.
Where is the world as the people of Tigray are perishing? And again, an estimated half of an entire civilization said to have perished if something immediate does not happen. If the world does not stand up and say, never again? Remember that? Remember? Remember you promised never again?
مجمرة أبي كبرنا حفتنا فانا مهبلوني because يالف فانا تنيرا of course نغلس نيرنا جن أبزي مبزح أين خائل نيرنا إن فانا تمرت بيتنا عندنا ودأتيا إن internship مالت أو صراحة مجمر بفيت زمت أنا قريو بتمرت بيت مكنات إن أب تا سيناتور أوفيس عينت نجرنا صراحة نيرامو خم خلنا جزء خنرأي خلنا نزسم عنا سب مزارب يوصل ناي سبنا تشجر إن نجرت تانيرا خبوا بفيت دمو خاب خلو different cities of America ويم أبدأ أمريكا زلنا دايسبورا مالتيو بزح بروتست ناقبرنا كساب حجي الناس حفنا ستيت ويم local and greater officials مالت
سلطان يتعدوا
زخون سلطان مسمع اللو إلنا أنا زبالة عبي أين بلن بقى كل سب مسمع اللو إلنا سلفي سلام تنقبرينا نزحفينا ندولينا سلزي بفانا مكنيات chance رخبنا مو تولو إلنا press زوعنا صحفنا بزي ساعات بزي معلتي زي سنتر chance ختهبنا هباتنا إياه أن فانا بعلاز حفاته to resolution أن فليتنا خالي سب زقاوم ونجر انتي نبر إلنا كل نجر سلا humanitarian إنا جرنا يوم مالت مقبيرلن استيرلن حزبنا يوم أب أرمي زي خونو يوم زو عوزلو بتو بوم إن كل نجار أبتا resolution زلا سلا سبيو سلو بقى سلو ود السبت رأيو إن خمو عينة نجار ريخا خمي تقاومو خمي جرخا خمي بيبي مبلع يبلون يبل سب إلنا عدلا جن متعرشة لاي سلسوني زقاوم سب رخبنا مالتيو بتعمي لبخا ينكيو سلزي جن كان دجنا ادمين حفتنا فانا نيو حسان وني يسرحيو ابو جن زخفل عينة سراحي خونن ناي تمرت بيت سراحيو جن خم خلنا كان دجنا ان زنبرة سبنا نجارت خمسكو ناتي فاملي خمسي خوينوم كساب حجي خمسي تجيرهم بقى خلو تارك بقى بمزارب because ما نبسب سمعوه لب خاينك أخايو إنه تا سيناتور جاكسون وني because أمريكا وني خم عينة هيستوريا اللوم نايتوسن نجزي African American وني تجنقهم نيروم من خمز خونو تراي بمن زخونو تراي تقتلهم خمانا مالتيو سلازي minority انتي خمز خونو يفلتو يوم إن تو معلتي وني خمويا إلى أن إحنا إلى مستقراي ألنا إلى كساب حجي خمو عينة نجر سب خفتي أي بالون نيرو سلازي سويني إيو لبي زناخة
تذكري دخلت شو عزولك يو؟
من تاي ذكرون I mean ذكروا كل معلتي زبلو نجارية خمس قلوت نزاربو نجاريو حجي because نعنا مرقاس يلن يوم خنبلعو وني خلنا نستيزن نبلعو بينون تايو because سخاتكم خمس دليخم ببلعي تدليون إنه خمس بركوخا أنا حدش حجي خلت عمد كيرو يوهانس بحال قلعلوني خري أخر لخو كي because حزب تيغراي خم أنا قلعاري انت يخوني يو ايوم زبلو ناي اهاتنا تيغراي زلو سلازي تذكريو دو ختب لاني خلخا خطيقي طيقني خلخا خما يذكرون جبل هو I said the people of Tigray are dying. Our people are dying. The women, I talked about the trials that our women are going through, the unspeakable, the horrific, the evil trials that our women and girls and boys and men that we don't talk about. I talked about the fact that the world has turned its back Because if the world does not act, it's as if you are saying to Abiy Ahmed, it's as if you are saying to Isaias Afwerki, what you're doing is okay, and that is not okay with us. I said that these are not numbers. To us, they are family members. To us, they are mothers and sisters and brothers and fathers and uncles. And now I told them that we challenge them to do something now, to do something now. And Fana Haftana, she talked about what the process is of starvation, which is so important because people who have never gone hungry or maybe have never not had food for a prolonged period of time, when you hear the word starvation, it's hard to imagine. But I'm so thankful to Fana because she talked about how many days it takes until the side effects for a healthy person to start feeling it, how the organs react. And Brother Hassan really talked about,
it's time for action now. It is time for the international community to speak up today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, but today. We need action now.
his family and how his family is like all of our families, and how right now we can't even advocate for our individual families because it's all about Hizb Tigray. It's about all of our families. It's about our country, Tigray. It's about that region, the entire northern region that is still on the western side of Tigray under occupation. You know, because of our people and our Jaganu people picking up and saying, I will protect myself and my people, at least we're not in the bigger landscape as bad in terms of attack. But still, people forget in Western Tigray, still our sisters and brothers are under danger, are still being killed. And mostly, entire civilization of Tigray is under siege, which means no one can come in, no one can come out. So during that press conference, I prayed before I spoke that God gives me the words to say what is in my heart, which is do something now, and that our people are in dire need.
كريم هو كلهم دياسبورا تግራይ ያብ ደገ ኮይኖም ናይ ዘወትር ናይ ኩሉ ግዜ ጸሎቶም ናይ ኩሉ ግዜ መዝሙሮም ንስዩ ማለት ገፍዕን መከራን ጀኖሳይድን ትግራይ ከብቃለዎ ዓለሙን እዝናን ዓይናን ትኩረታ ኣብ ትግራይ ክትገብር ኣለዋ እዚ ከዓ ሓልዮት ከይኾነስ بعالم بركي بعلاون وعل زاتوتو قال زاتوتو ስለዝኾነ ቃል ክትበልዕ የብላን ዝብል መዝሙርናይ ኩልኹም ይሞ ፍላይት ማሕበረሰብ ዲያስፖራ ትግራይ ዘካይ ዘሎ ቃልስን ክሳብ ሕዚ ማሕበረሰብ ዓለም ንጽንተት ህዝብ ትግራይ ጠጠው ንኽብል ዝሃቦ ምላሽን ትኹረትን ከመይ ይኽሪኽዮም
ናይ ብሓቂ እንተ ተዛረብኹ ልበይ ተቓጺላ ስለዝኾነት ከም ዝደለይኽዎ ከም ዝደለይናዮ እቲ ዓለም ስለዘመፀት أي مزعتن دقاقمنا أبي العالم نبل جن دمو pragmatically خريقو خلخو قس إلى جن عالمنا مزعتية خوب له مجمرة خوبنا ببعلنا سب بناي بعلنا سبيو مجمرة خراتنا خوبنا بزيوم كندجنا تجارو جاجانو زلو أبعدنا زلو ناتي عدي خمسة يدخلن إيلهم مقبر زلوهم زجبرو زلو بالتعمي عبي خبرنا نعوميو سلزي سوم خاء سرحو خلوه عن إحنا أبزي زلنا سرحنا ونينا سرحنا ينا سلزي علم خمينا قبرتنا تمسع خلا تمسع again عينس أبين زلنا we're not waiting for the world we're doing our job in the way we need to do our job so the world is slow to act. Again, we have hope and we have signs that the world will act, but we are not waiting for the world because we can't afford to wait. If the world was to act the way it should have acted, it would not be, again, 546 days. So I'm proud personally to be a part of an organization called HPN for Tigray, and it is a health professional network. We were established by doctors and nurses and social workers. And Nahaji, we have over 200 members that are ready to be on the ground in Tigray as soon as we get access. But until then, we're not waiting because, Haji, we are putting together booklets on mental wellness because and Dahrai. Hizbina experience زقبرو زلو نجار أب أمره وني تقرز نجارية بزحنا. So what our people are going through right now is something that is going to be ingrained in the mind forever. In terms of our mental health and wellness, it is critical that we pay attention to, again, our women and girls and boys and our men who are being told so many horrific things and are going through so much atrocity. So HPN for Tigray, again, informed by psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists. Not only are we training other Tagaru how to help facilitate conversations to bring relief, but also we're putting together manuals and in Tigrinya on how to help train our mental health associates, men sisters. So as soon as Tigray is available and open, we are on the ground running with the mental health kits. Also, what we do now is we have sent tons of medication because حجي Tigray ab Tigray Tigrayans ab Tigray allo gen Tigray حجي ab Sudan wini iya. So Tigray right now, Tagaro are in Tigray, but also Tigray lives in the refugee camps in Sudan. So treating Tigray right now means also treating our people in the refugee camps. So along with our amazing doctors that were displaced, that have been displaced from Tigray ba'alom up to refugee camps اليوم, partnership جرنا زاد اليوم نقدر نتاخم زخونة like as much as humanly possible, so that we're working on every possible part. HPN for Tigray has many different levels. Health and policy alona, women and children alona, advocacy alona. I'm co-captain of the advocacy group. Mental health خمسة alona. I mean operation. I mean بزح شو عدت شمونت levels alona mo ناي Tigray holistically كل نجار إن حسبنا حجي إن تزحفة حجي زجبر نجارنا جبرنا مس عيدرنا تسرحة مس معدوت الناس سرحنا مس أبدا أسبرا زلو organization الناس سرحنا بقى علم تجبر جينا نحنا تعلم أي نسبي ينزل لنا.
Okay, Lina, I wanted to ask you one question. Why is the world is very quick to respond to the Ukraine crisis, calling as genocide, and come to the aid of Ukraine as much as quickly like in a few days? Why not in Tigray? What's the reason behind?
Absolutely. That is an excellent question. And of course, yet we all have our guests, we all have our ideas. And I have to say, for most of us, one, it is something that is happening outside of Africa, and we have seen the world quicker to act for instances that are outside of Africa. Two, the people that are doing this to Tigray and Tigrayans all over Ethiopia are using the rhetoric that this is African problems and it should be solved by African people or African solutions for African problems. But they say this so that they can have carte blanche. They could do whatever they want. And so it makes policyholders sort of scared, I think, to hurry up and do something because they think Africa is different than America, is different than the UK. Maybe I'm missing something. So what I'm understanding is the people who are doing all these horrific things to Tigrayans are using that. And also, Kabram, in being in media for, again, 17 years, that's almost 2 decades, what I understand is, you know, Russia, even when you think about movies, going back far in time, even to the reality of the Cold War in America, in the terms of what their history against America. So I think it's easier for people in America to see, okay, the bad guy is doing bad things to people that look like us. Whereas maybe, and perhaps with Tigray and Ethiopia, the fact that, first of all, Ethiopia, Tigray is part of Ethiopia, and supposedly its own government, meaning its own federal government, is doing this. So maybe hard to understand, or they think they don't want to get into the politics. But no matter what the case, it is the job of the United Nations. I mean, that's all they're there for. It is the job of the world to take the time to understand, because they know if there's anything like a genocide, they need to stop it. So I can sit here and give you my opinion and some of my friends' opinions. Again, no matter what the reality is, it is their job to come in and help the people that are being put upon. And all we know is that they're not doing their jobs.
علينا مسيت تناخير زغط زلو عصوان كبان بتخالق ازدما تي تجراوي بمخان كاترح التقتللو تأسرلو كابوتا خاطر بارلو قداي حزونا تناخيرهم يم زغط زلو فاشتوين مو كمينا كل ما دايك ألسنا كنا زي زلنا تبلي في الله ياب دياسبورا تجراي أب دياسبورا زلهم تجارو كما يكون زق بوتو ألسي
حدنا حد أبتو جنبارينا ማለት ኣብታ መሬት ግንባሪና ሓደና ደሞ ኣብቲ ዲጂታል and diplomacy ግንባር ኣለና አይደለ እታ ዲፕሎማሲ እውን ሕጂ ኣብ ብዙ ከም አንሕና ንዛረቦ ዘለና ኣብቲ ዲጂታል ኣብቲ ኮምፒውተር ኣለና ምሽ እና ብዙሕ ሰብና ኣሎ ለሊት ዘይህርስ ኣብቲ ትዊተር ዝሰምዕ ሰብ ዘሎ ዝነብር ኣለና ስለዚ ኣብ ናቱ ዓይነት ዲጂታል and diplomacy ግንባር ኣለና and ህዝቢ ትግራይ እውን ኣብ ናይ ባዕሎም ግንባር ኣለው ናቶም ግንባር ደሞ survival ዝገበሩ ነገር እናገበሩ survival ናይ ባዕሉ ቀላሲ so just to be clear I want to say to answer your question about in terms of TDF, in terms of Hizb Tigray, in terms of the diaspora, yeah, we are all on our own battlefield. TDF, which is basically the people of Tigray picking up arms and saying no more. We're not going to wait for the world to say no more. We are going to ensure no more for Tigray. And they are on the front lines of the battlefields on the ground. And we in the diaspora, we have our own battlefield, which is the battlefield of diplomacy, the digital battlefield, and even still, those battlefields merge. And then Hizb Tigray, the people of Tigray are on their own battlefield, whether they realize it or not. And their battlefield is that of survival. Because right now, not having enough food, not having clean water, not having safety, physical, mental safety, that is its own battlefield where we pray that they're doing anything and everything they have to do to survive. Because we TDF and Tigray leadership and whatever they're doing, and the diaspora. And, most of us have never been in politics, but doing whatever we have to do, to make sure everything that we are doing is so that you survive. And if you don't take care of yourselves, Hizb Tigray, then the enemy has won, and whatever we are doing is for nothing. But I know Tigray تسعرية. እግዚአብሔር ከም ዘለዎ ከም ዝፈልጥ نفلت إنا Tigray ከም ትስዕር. Question, although Tigray leadership has done what the world has requested and continues to ask for peace negotiations, continues to ask for unfettered humanitarian access, the fact that there's a communication blackout, and the fact that, like Ukraine, you see the pictures of the bodies, you see interviews, the news comes out freely. If I just can't help but think the federal government had a plan. They made a very good plan, and their plan is complete blackout so that they don't see what we do. And that's what we're fighting against. So our role as basically your mouthpiece for our people, for our families, is to keep screaming as loud as we can to make sure we are heard, to continue working in a very ethical way, which I can't say about the people who don't wish us well. That's our job, and we take it seriously.
እዚኩም እንተኮይኑ ህዝብ ትግራይ ብዛሃለው ያሃሉ ሃለዋት ምድሕነቱ ንምግሃድ ክህልዎ ዝግበኦ ዕዮ ገዛ ነው ወከፍ ትግራዋይ ክገብሮ ዝግበኦ ነገር ታዩ ኣብ ውሽጢ ያሃሉ ኣብ ደገ ብዘይ ግድስ
ህዝብ ትግራይ ሓደ ስራሕ ኣለኹም ምንም ገይርኹም ደሕና ኹኑልና ማለት እዚ ናይ ኣእምሮ ዝምጻእ ነገር I'm just going to do this in English. So what should be done for the diaspora, for Hizb Tigray inside the country? So in our opinion, in my opinion, Hizb Tigray, you have one job, and that is to survive. However you do it, please hold on, survive, come together, and I know you are. And I know it's so easy for me to sit here with lights, computer, to say that. Again, if I don't say this today, I will be mad at myself. But survive for yourselves, survive for us. And please take care of what you can take care of. This message especially to the people who are going through mental stress, who are going through anxiety, please know that God is with you. I know sometimes it's hard to understand why things happen. Know that your people are behind you, and we don't sleep anymore. It's hard to even eat because we know that you're struggling, but your one job is to do whatever you have to do to survive. And we are going to be waiting for you with open arms and all of the resources as soon as we can get in there. To our troops, to our Tigray Defense Forces, and this is just Helena speaking as Helena, not under any organization. I am so proud of you. You make us so proud. You make us want to fight more. You make us want to not go to sleep. You make us want to just be just like you. We are so proud of you, so proud of you. We are so proud to be of you. To know that my blood is part of your blood is the biggest blessing that God ever gave me. Please take care of yourself, and please do what is right for you, and continue to band together. And we're so proud of your discipline when other armies do unspeakable things. That you are disciplined and you continue to do what's best and continue to protect our people. Something that is across the board message, we must, as Tagaru, continue to move as one. It's not the time to be, it's the time to be one. And that is for us, not to homework you. Just know we are here and we continue to fight. We continue to fight.
قدم كبلونا بجورجيا هلينا ياو زعلم آبيلا الكنيركي دمس أزب تجراي أم مدرخ عالم أسمع خنيرك ونمو لو مخ بزقت أمزين عالم تأخلي.
Wake up. My message to the world is wake up. I'm not going to continue to lose my family and friends, my country of Tigray. It may be just a state to you, but we are a civilization. We have rights like anyone else. We are a loving, spiritual people. And even if we weren't, we have the God-given right to be alive. We have the God-given right to not worry about our kids, our own mental and physical safety. So my message to the world is wake up and wake up right now and do what it is that you have an oath to do. To the organizations like United Nations, to the heads of the country, America, to the Congress, to the Parliament. You know, we are so quick to be so thankful, and we are thankful for what has, you know, taken this long to do, but it has taken so long. It has taken so many lives. This is a black and white situation. I mean, this is a humanitarian access problem. This is a humanitarian crisis. And so my message to the world is to wake up right now and to do what is in your power to do. We saw you doing it in Ukraine. Ukrainian people deserve aid. They deserve the help. And so does Tigray. Concentration camps in 2022, burning of bodies, women, young girls, young boys, men being disrespected in such a way should not be. We're looking to you to uphold your oath and your credo. We're looking to you to do your job. So my message to the world is wake up.
قصالي ህዝባዊ ቃልስና ዓዊትና ብቃልሲ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ያው ኩሉ ጸገማት ክስገር እዩ ዝብል ናይ ህዝቢ ትግራይ እተዋና መቃለሲ አንፈቱን ከም ባህር እውን ዝወስዶ ናይ ባዕሉ ንሓለዋ መንነት ዝገብሮ ቃልሲ እሞ ጽባሕ እንታይ ክትብህጊ ባህጊ ህሊና እንታይ እዩ ብቀጻሊ
ህዝቢ ትግራይ ስለ ዝኾንና ፈልጥ እየ ሕልሚ ጥራይ ኣይኮነን ዝንገብሮ ነገር ከም ዝኾነ ፈልጥ እየ. My dream and my plan, our plan, is not just for the buildings, the beautiful buildings that they've destroyed that we will erect again, and we will do that. But our plan is for the physical, the mental, and the heart, the spiritual, because they're trying to make us not only victims of what they're doing, but they're also trying to rid us of our faith, especially when they do what they do, wearing the crosses. And we know that we will not allow that. We know God is with us. God is with all people. So my dream is that little girls will be able to run and roam the streets of Tigray again without fear. Women will have a place to go that they know that there's no stigma, that they know that there's no shame. Women who have been victimized, that they know that it is not their fault, that they know that the entire Hizbi of Tigray is behind them. All things like that begin with one hasab, and that is we are one, right? That we are one and that we take care of each other, because the enemy has done this to all of us, not just the women, not just the girls, not just the boys, not just the men. They want to divide us. And the way that we win is by maintaining our brotherhood, our sisterhood. So that is my dream, that our people will be as they were and even better. And Tigray TV had a negative, if I can say one thing about Tigray TV is when you weren't around, we missed you so much. People who didn't even know, you know, I think about my generation and younger, if we didn't know about you, still we missed you. And as soon as you came back on the scene, you are the reason why there is now hope and evidence of what is going on, and of the world seeing what is going on. Because again, that is how the enemy of the people works, is that shutting off all communication so they can do what they need to do in the dark. But we're so thankful for Tigrai TV. I cannot, and then we even asked, we requested something of you that you would do as much as you can in English, and then you did it immediately. So I don't even know, with everything that you're going through, how you're doing it, but we are so...
Even recently we have started Arabic. Have you seen that?
And recently you have started in Arabic. And so, you know, information is key. And that is why the world is able to band together for Ukraine, for other places, because there's information. So you are our saving grace. And you allow us then, as advocates outside, you allow us to bring the story to elected officials. You allow us to bring the story to major news outlets. So we're so thankful and so indebted to you. Every producer, every camera person, every interviewer, every journalist, everybody who maybe has never been a journalist but is picking up the camera and doing what they need to do. We're so proud of you. Again, as someone in media, and my mother before me in media, we talk about that a lot. I mean, you have to know everybody's always glued to their phones, and Tigrai TV is the first. I myself have a really wonderful partner, and we do a lot of translations in order to send to the elected officials, and Tigrai TV is, that's it. You are our miracle coming out of Tigray. So we thank you so much. ንህዝቢ ትግራይ ንኹላትኩም ምባል ዝደሊ ትቃለሱ ዘለኹም ኣብ ግንባር ወይም ኣብ ገዛ ዘለኹም እንደገና ጸሎትና ሐሳብና በሙሉ ኣደይ ትብል ዘላ ልብና ኩላሊትና ኩሉ ነገርና ምሳኹም ከም ዝኾነ ምግባር ዝኸኣልናዮ ዘይንኽእሎ ኩሉ ነገር እናገበርና ኢና ንቐጽል ኢና እና ክሳብ ንረኻኸብ ንፈትወኩም ኢና እብል እየ ክሳብ ንረኻኸብ ንትግራይ ትስዕር እያ
ኣዚና ነመስግን ህሊና ንዝነበረና ጻኒሒት ብስም ተመልከትናን ብስም ቴሌቪዥን ትግራይን ካብ ልቢና ነመስግን ብቐጻሊ ንሓለዋ መንነት ትግራይ ኣብ ትገብርዎ ኩለ መዳይ ቃልሲ እንራኸወሉ ዕድል ከም ዝህሉ ተስፋ ገብርቲ ዲጂታል ቃልስሎ ዲፕሎማሲያዊ ቃልስሎ ኣባኹም ትገብርዎ ዘለኹም ቃልሲ እዩ ብኡ ከዓ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ኩሉ ሻዕ ሕቡን እዩ ድምፁ አንደበቱ ኮይንኩም ኩለ መዳይ ጸገማት ተሳጊርኩም ወይ ከዓ ተጻዊርኩም ትገብርዎ ዘለኹም ቃልሲ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ኣዝዩ ይናድኡ ዘብጽሕ እሞ ኣብ ዘለኹም ኩሉ ሰላምኩም የብዛሓዮ ባኻትኩም ኩሉ ሻዕ ሕቡናት ኢና ኣብ ካሊእ ግዜ ብኻሊእ ዛዕባ ከም ንረኸብ ከዓ ተስፋ ገብር አትላንታ ጆርጂያ ህሊና ታደሰ ምሳና ስለ ዝነበራ ጻኒሒት ኣዚና ነመስግን ንኹሎም ዲያስፖራ ብስም ህሊናን ካልኦትን ክብረት ይሃበና ቃልስኹም መጠናኸኩም ክትቅጽሉ ከዓ ናና እውን ተስፋ እዩ ሓቢርኩምና ስለ ጸናሕኩም ኣዚና ነመስግን ክሳብ ሽዑ ሰሰናይ ንኹልና ሃለዋትና ንድሕነትና ንበቐልጽምና ትግራይ